What's going on, y'all? What it is. So let's go ahead and slide on this topic, and I want to talk about Michael Jackson's former head of security, who later on became Diddy's head of security, Faheem Muhammad. So guys, I got some explosive information in regards to Faheem, and I have to say that my plug was uncomfortable giving me this information, and I'm really uncomfortable with putting it out, but I'm gonna put it out anyway. It is what it is. Now, I must say off top that this is some very dark and demonic information, and I must say that this really disturbs my soul. But anyway, guys, I want to talk about this situation and just give it to you raw, just like he gave me. Now, he held back the information, and you'll understand why when I read what he actually texted me. But yo, this is crazy. This is extremely crazy. Now, before we go any further, I want to encourage you guys to follow me on Instagram at Carolina Crush TV, just in case something happens here. All right. Now, before we kick this thing off, right, before I read you all the information that I have, I want to play you guys a couple of clips. Now, the first clip you're going to see, and I'm pretty sure that you guys have already seen this, but it's going to be from this guy from Peru, basically talking about the fact that Michael Jackson overdosed and passed away in 1979. And then the second clip is going to be a young lady talking about this situation with Faheem Muhammad and Diddy's head of security, who was once Michael Jackson's head of security. All right, so sit tight, and then I'll be back to give you the information that was passed down to me.
That Elizabeth Taylor took Michael Jackson to the party.
Okay.
In some kind of way, in the party, it was induced and Michael Jackson OD'd.
Really? In 1979?
1979.
So you saying did he pass away in 1979?
So I wasn't there.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you what I heard. You know what I'm saying? Allegedly. Allegedly, Michael Jackson was deceased in 1979. When Las Vegas found out about it, they said they could not have a pop icon die in Las Vegas. They had just lost the R&B king, Elvis Presley, 1977. They said it would be bad business. So I understood they went to the Jackson family and told them what happened, and that you got other sons. If we say this about Michael, and it'll ruin you, you'll be back in Gary, Indiana. Allegedly. All of a sudden in 1979, he's doing a commercial and a fire happened and his hair caught on fire.
Was that in 79? That was in the 80s, right?
1979.
In 79, his hair caught on fire?
1979, the Pepsi commercial.
Wow.
So he was in hibernation rehabilitating, so they said that they had lookalikes because they were recreating a Michael Jackson and making a clone.
Wow.
That Elizabeth Taylor took Michael Jackson.
Faheem Muhammad's testimony is the reason that Michael Jackson's doctor did not get convicted with first-degree murder, and that is why P. Diddy hired him as his head of security, because he was known to cover shit up. Michael Jackson was way before 2009, and his body was supposedly hidden in a tunnel in Neverland Ranch. But let's talk about the connection and how they covered it up. So I know you guys have been hearing about P. Diddy and Michael Jackson, but it's not P. Diddy who is directly linked to Michael Jackson. It is the man who testified that Michael Jackson's doctor administered CPR and did what he was supposed to do when Michael Jackson supposedly died. That is the head of security for P. Diddy. The connection is that same guy, Faheem Muhammad, is said to be used to cover up multiple inconspicuous acts that are done by P. Diddy using the LAPD as well as the police department in California. That is what's in the lawsuit. But what nobody is talking about is why Faheem Muhammad covered it up in the first place and how it launched his career with P. Diddy. So everyone knows that Michael Jackson died because his doctor administered him propofol and another a benzodiazepine while he was asleep, and this caused him to overdose. And the only thing his doctor said was that that's what he does for Michael. He does it all the time, and this man only served a couple years in prison, and he is currently free and still practicing medicine. Let's start there. Nevertheless, This Faheem Muhammad, who was only the head of security for 10 months before Michael Jackson died, who had no prior experience being any type of security, did a testimony on behalf of this doctor. Faheem Muhammad testified that Conrad Murray gave and was administering CPR to Michael Jackson when he walked in the room, and this is what was a main part of this man not being charged with first-degree murder during Michael Jackson's trial. In the testimony, he said that he could physically see that he was sweating from administering CPR, but he did not have any machines hooked up to Michael Jackson, but Michael Jackson looked to be already dead. If you know anything about an investigation, that testimony set the bar for Conrad Murray, and this is a big factor as to why he was not charged, because they claimed he did what he was supposed to do as a doctor by administering CPR. If Faheem Muhammad would have never said that on trial and said that he didn't witness the doctor doing anything, 9 times out of 10 he would have been convicted. Conrad Murray would have still been in jail to this day. But this is Faheem Muhammad, and he, in this new Diddy lawsuit, is named for being the person to call when you F up if you are on Diddy's team. That's handling women that you may have mistreated. And in this case, in Lil Ron's lawsuit, he said that someone was shot while by P. Diddy, and this man helped cover it up with the help of the LAPD. When Faheem Muhammad was a part of that trial, P. Diddy saw him and used him and hired him to come and work for him because he was able to get the doctor off. If you know anything about Hollywood, lawyers, police officers, if you know someone, it's all about who you know and what you know. So if P. Diddy saw him get off for helping someone get off for Michael Jackson, yes, he hired him to help him get away with everything else too. Now let's get to the conspiracy of the whole thing, that wasn't even Michael Jackson in the beginning. If you know anything about conspiracy, or if you know anything about, in 2024, people are just now catching on to a lot of the that is called conspiracy being true. So mind you, this happened in 2005. This conspiracy came out in 2005 and people just blew right past it. But it is said that Michael Jackson's real body was found under a tunnel in Neverland Ranch, where he went into seclusion after this Pepsi commercial, after he was right? He was at Neverland Ranch. He stayed there. Neverland Ranch was built in 1987. But there was this article that emerged in 2005 that Michael Jackson's real body was found, and they knew it was him because of dental records, and they said that he had been decomposed for a long time. So at the time that this article came out, what they are saying was Michael Jackson's fake clone was undergoing trial for sexual charges, which, by the way, Michael Jackson was never convicted of. And this article came out posting that the police investigators had found and identified the decomposed corpse of the immensely popular entertainer buried on the grounds of his Neverland Ranch. During a search for evidence at the Neverland Valley Ranch, investigators discovered a corpse that has been identified as that of Michael Jackson. Santa Barbara police. Coroners have officially pronounced Michael Jackson dead. From what we can tell, he died between 18 and 20 years ago. Now, of course, they called it poppycock, because how is someone going to be on trial, but they have the real body that's been decomposed for 20 years? They are saying that the reason that he was even going through these charges, right, and why Michael Jackson went into seclusion after that Pepsi commercial, because he was supposed to be badly burned, but as you can see, he didn't show up with anything but like this weird new nose, and that's what everyone was saying. He bleached his skin, and Michael Jackson was completely brand new, and he wanted to start going by MJ. And they were saying that the reason that he secluded himself at Neverland Ranch and surrounded himself with kids, right? Michael Jackson became all about the kids. He wanted kids at Neverland Ranch. The reason they did this was because children would not know the difference between the real Michael Jackson and MJ that they were seeing now. And mind you, after that, we always saw from 2005 all the way until his death, we only saw Michael Jackson with sunglasses, hats, umbrellas, and he would stay out of the cameras. Because y'all, this was Michael Jackson from 2005 all the way up until his death. This was him at the 2006 MTV Awards. Who the hell is this? Who is it? That is not Michael Jackson. They really pulled this right in front of our eyes. Like, look at this. This don't look like no Michael Jackson. Be for real. And they tried to say this happened because of that Pepsi commercial where he caught on fire. I don't see burn marks. I see a whole different man. What the hell? And we went for it. That's why they surrounded him with Neverland Ranch and tried to make him look like he was a on top of trying to cover up who the real MJ really was. And of course, P. Diddy would know this. P. Diddy knows all of this. That's why he hired Faheem Muhammad, and that's why they hired him as the head of security. I told you, before Faheem Muhammad became security for Michael Jackson, he had no prior security. No, he never worked security. He graduated with a business degree from college. He was 21, but he was in charge of guarding Michael Jackson, the king of pop, at one of the richest locations in the world. Please, I'm gonna do a part 2 because I'm going all in on this.
All right, so you guys just heard all of that, and I would say that the first OG that was speaking about the situation that Michael Jackson allegedly passed away back in 1979, I would say that he had some dates off, because the Pepsi commercial, when Michael Jackson had the incident, was in 1984, and who the hell is the king of R&B? Elvis Presley? I think not. Now, I will say, just because the brother got a couple of dates wrong doesn't mean that there's not some truth and validity there. I believe that he got this information from a reputable source. He just got his dates wrong, right? And so I've been heard that Michael Jackson had passed away a long time ago and they replaced him with a clone. Now, whether that is factual information, that still remains to be seen and confirmed. But the lady in the clip that I played you all, her theory definitely came together beautifully. It all makes sense. The dots definitely were connected. Whether that's factual information, that too remains to be seen. But at the end of the day, it does come across as believable. But anyway, what I want to do right here is go ahead and slide on this text message that was sent to me by my plug. Now, before I give you guys this information, I do want to protect the integrity of my platform and tell you guys that all of this information is alleged, okay? So you can take this information and do whatever you want with it, but at the end of the day, it's all alleged. So it says here, bro, this some heavy ish right here. I'm gonna hold back just a little bit to protect you and all parties involved, but I'm being told by a prominent doctor in Hollywood by the name of Dr. Blank that it's been a known fact that Michael's head of security, Faheem Muhammad, assisted in the passing of Michael Jackson. This was a call that was made from the elites and executed by black people who worked closely with Michael, so it would not look as if it was an actual hit. They're members of MJ's staff that are still alive that are in hiding, and one is even in witness protection for trying to tell her story about what she witnessed and how she was thrown out of the house for trying to call for medical assistance. The woman was a Latino woman who was thrown out of the house by Faheem Muhammad and threatened if she ever spoke about anything that she saw. Her name is Blank. There were other individuals that were a part of MJ's staff who tried to tell the same story to local authorities, but their story fell upon deaf ears, it seemed. One staffer says she witnessed Dr. Conrad continuously sticking MJ with needles, while Faheem and another guy who they have never seen before was helping to hold MJ down. Kim Porter knew of this information and was going to expose it in her tell-all book. I feel uncomfortable going any further, bro. I'm not even going to front right here. Get at you later. Alright, so you guys just heard all of that, and I do want to reiterate that all of this information is alleged, but I do trust my plug, and I trust the fact that he wouldn't steer me in the wrong direction. But what I want to do right now is hear from you guys. Drop down in the comments and let me know what you think about all this information that was covered within this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and until next time, peace.